Good to see you. Good to see you. Well done for joining another practice, Mindful Munch. It's really, it seems small, but to take this time and give it to ourselves, it's actually really big. It's actually really big. If it's daily, it's enormous. But even if it's once a week, it's pretty big. And it's also relating to the subject of today. Last week we've explored the attribute of compassion, and today I'd like invite us to explore the quality of in Hebrew it says Gevurah, which actually translates into hero, but mostly the way it's commonly translated is it's strength or boundaries or endurance. And there is one very famous teaching in Pirke Avot, which is like kind of the book of the ethics, the ancient Jewish ethics. And the sentence goes, the question is, who is strong, or who is a hero one? Who is the hero? And the answer is the one who conquers their inner impulses. And this is strength. This is strength. So, for example, if someone asks me to do something, and my go-to is say yes or say no, right? Either way. But kind of to wait with it, just to wait with it, and hold my inner impulse, what comes most naturally or most easily, which is not necessarily what comes most authentically, right? Because we spoke about it a few times, like if I'm used to do something, it doesn't mean that that's what's authentic for me. That's what's in line with my deeper self. Maybe it comes natural because it's a habit. Also negative thoughts, right? Or like kind of attachment of specific emotions. So today we'll explore this concept of strength and boundaries, but in the relation, when we bring it into mindfulness and breathwork, it's not really about strength of control over others. That's either way, it's not that. It's really having the ability to pause, the ability to meet what arises inside us and not be ruled by it. We can feel the pull or the push, but we're standing with it, we're sitting with it. It's not about suppressing, and we're not suppressing it, we're also not reacting to it, but we're just holding it, And welcome Danny, in the practice of mindfulness and breathwork, and practices that we have done here a few times, one of the organs that really represents this movement of contraction and kind of I'm holding is the heart, right? Like when it opens up, it's expansion, and like my heart is open, and when I'm closed, my heart is closed. There is a boundary. And the wonderful thing is that every beat, the heart does it. Maybe it does it 60 times a minute, maybe it does it 120 times a minute, but it's doing it often, moving between compassion and contraction, like expansion and closing. And so in today's meditation, we'll start settling and just have breath awareness, and then connect it to the heart. We'll feel our heart in the wrist or in between, like on the neck. And we can, by the way, we can sense it with our thumb. I got a comment from someone last time we've done it. I've instructed that you can check the pulse with the palm, and they said no, but you cannot. And they were right. You cannot check the pulse with the with the thumb when you check it to someone else, because our pulse is also felt there. And if you want to measure it to someone else, you don't want to feel your own pulse. But in this practice, you can do with the 2 fingers or with the thumb. After that, we'll deepen the breath and we'll integrate some breath retentions, holding the breath. Again, not about suppressing a need, but not also immediately reacting to this impulse to breathe again. So yeah, let's find a comfortable position. Any comfortable position. You can sit, you can lay. And just allow the breath to breathe naturally. See if you can really take the time to dedicate it to less and less things and focus on just one thing at a time. That by itself is practicing strength and boundaries, especially in today's day and age. Through practices via screen or online, it's easy to do multitasking. But see if your intention is to take this time for yourself, this is by itself an opportunity to cultivate boundaries and strength by minimizing the focus and the action to less or one thing only. So we're starting with just finding a comfortable position and noticing the breath. Noticing the sensations of the breath, what parts in the body expand when you breathe, what parts contract. Notice also what goes through the head, through the mind, maybe the heart, maybe other sensations in the body. And in this practice, as we cultivate boundaries, I invite you to just state to yourself what is it that you would like to do in this session in relation to wandering mind, or emotions or sensations that sway and catch the focus. And now I invite us to start feel our boundaries of the body. So the edges of the shape of the body. The skin. Touching the fabric of your clothes, on the cushion, mat, mattress, couch, chair, or anything else. And just take a moment to sit with the boundaries of the body. When you feel ready, starting to look for your pulse. And in the same time, I invite you to deepen your breath and just feel the limitations of your breath right now. No real effort, but just feel what's the boundaries of the breath right now. Gentle. Always when we approach boundaries, we want to go gently. Slowly. With more attention. And feel how does it feel specifically around the edges of your breath. Do you feel a tightness, pressure? How do you know that you got to the end of the inhalation or the end of the exhalation? How do you know that it's time to go back? And I invite us now to start counting the heartbeat for each inhalation and each exhalation. We're getting an idea what comes more naturally, the inhalation or the exhalation. What boundary of mine feels more strong after I inhale or after I exhale? What's longer? Good. Just being curious. And I invite you, whenever you feel ready, to start synchronizing the length and volume of the inhalation and the exhalation. Going by your own heart as a meter, as to set the pace. You decide how many heartbeats to count for each inhalation and see if you can count the same number for the exhalation. And the invitation is to be curious about the boundaries of the breath. So how can I really respect my boundaries, not push them, and yet explore the surrounding of them? Be next to them. Live to my fullest. Notice if the breath stops being smooth around the edges, maybe jittery, maybe with pauses, maybe more loud. And as best as possible, see if you can smoothen it around the edges, around your boundaries, so it's more familiar, more customized. Navigate smoothly around the edges. Notice how you feel after maybe 10 minutes of breathing with the heart. And I invite you now, only if you feel comfortable, after the inhalation, to hold your breath. Hold your breath. And again, with the same curiosity about the edges, the boundaries. And see if you can hold what's there in the holding of the breath without rushing to breathe out or breathe in. So really leading yourself. Hold a little bit and then breathe. Hold a little bit, then breathe out. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. And notice how it feels. You could do it with the rhythm of your heart, or you could do it more intuitively. Remembering, it's not about suppressing a need. It's about staying, holding just for a moment before we respond to an impulse. The impulse could be mental, emotional, or physical. When we hold with an impulse, have it physically, mentally, or emotionally, we learn to hold holistically. Only if it feels safe for you to hold the breath, you hold the breath. Not rushing to the next breath. Notice the impulse to breathe. That moment. This is where Gevurah lives, or strength. Good. And if I see an impulse, how does it feel in the body? Is there tension somewhere? What happens if I soften it? After the next exhalation, letting go of the breath. I'm just allowing the breath to breathe itself. Feel your body. If you'd like, you can just ease here completely to relaxation. Or you could reflect on some questions to ask ourselves. Where in life do I react too quickly? What feeling or emotion is the hardest for me to hold, to stay with? Where in my life do I say yes, just to avoid discomfort? How would it look like if I paused before responding? How do I think I will feel if I'm pausing and then responding from an aligned place? How would I feel? Taking a deep breath in, feeling the edges of the breath. And in the exhalation, releasing the body. Coming back to the edges of the body. Feeling the pressure against the chair, the mat, the cushion, the bed, couch. The warmth or coolness. The fabric touches the skin. And ask yourself, how are you feeling after this 20 minutes practice? What is it that you're taking from today, and where would you like to implement it? Taking a deep, slow breath in. And in the exhalation, letting go of this practice. Already in the exhalation, we release into the air around us the benefits. When you feel ready, slowly coming back. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I'll just say that if you would like to explore more those attributes, I don't have it behind me today, but the attributes of compassion, boundaries, balance, and the lower one, the endurance, the persistency, and on the left, the humility and joyful, and our foundation, our creativity and connection, and last, our ability to be present and manifest it all. If you'd like to explore all of those attributes of meditations and breath work, we start the course next week on Sunday. In the yurt, there is one last spot, and online plenty. So I'll leave the link in the description. Thank you very much. Love you all very much. Blessings.